But once it get close to that time, you know what I mean, it's time to go to work, you know? And when we go to work, I know what comes after that.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
This is the fight that I've been kind of waiting for my entire life. I didn't have to make this fight. This fight, I could have just stayed at 135 pounds, sat comfortable at 35. I don't feel like no fighter at 135 can beat me. I made this fight happen because I know Teo is one of the guys at 140.
Tensions boiled over during the press event when Terence Crawford visibly grew frustrated and exchanged heated words with Teofimo Lopez Sr. Crawford didn't hold back, delivering a stern message and cautioning that Shakur Stevenson could cause serious damage to Lopez Jr. once they step into the ring.
Every last one of them stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. spoke with confidence, stating that his camp has carefully analyzed Shakur Stevenson and feels they've uncovered multiple flaws they can take advantage of in his boxing approach.
We want a competitive fight. We do this for the fans, you know. Ever since my son started this, you know, I told him, you know, this is...
Terence Crawford fired back with confidence, stressing that Shakur Stevenson is one of the hardest fighters to overcome, thanks to his high-level technique, sharp ring IQ, cool mindset, and natural ability to dictate the pace of a fight.
It's a work of art. Sky is the limit with Shakur. You know, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, you know, do whatever he wants in the ring. You know, and it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, you know, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has. You know, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division. You know, and be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. responded by saying his team won't allow Shakur Stevenson to settle into his rhythm, predicting that he'll suffer the same fate as Lomachenko and other fighters Teofimo has defeated once fight night arrives.
It's gonna be a great fight. I want everybody to come and see it. If you can't, you know, just watch it on TV.
You've had to come up with some good game plans over the years to beat some great fighters, Lomachenko, Taylor, among them. How difficult is this man, Shakur Stevenson, to prepare for?
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
During the press conference, Shakur Stevenson lost his cool and directly challenged Teofimo Lopez Sr., making it clear that he believes the elder Lopez has no place speaking or arguing on his son's behalf.
Come on, man. You're out of your mind.
Okay.
My son fought without no air. My son fought without no air against Gambosis.
You can't fight for your
balls.
son. You can't fight
You
for your
gonna tell
son.
me, man? Come on.
You can't fight for your son.
I bet you're gonna quit.
Terence Crawford works closely with Shakur Stevenson in training, helping fine-tune his skills, develop game plans, and push the intensity as they gear up for a much-anticipated showdown.
I almost missed that one. There it go. There it go. There it go. There it go. God. There it go, bro. He tried to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He tried. Man, I performed. You know that? I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game. And look, he's thinking about saying, let's play a game.
Shakur stays locked in on his championship goal, strictly sticking to his strategy, polishing every detail of his craft, and maintaining discipline to make sure he delivers his best possible performance inside the ring.
Just went up to 140, I said, let me get the Ring Magazine champion. Let's fight that guy. Let's fight the guy that's the guy. all that more pressure stuff don't mean nothing. As long as I'm like locked in and I'm focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, nothing else matters around me. That 4-weight world champion, it means everything to me. That's me separating myself. A lot of these guys that they claim is the guys nowadays, none of them can say that they are a 4-weight world champion. Honestly, for a minute before Devin went and did it, none of them could say they was really 3-weight world champion. So now for me to go to the 4th and the next level is a different type of thing. And a lot of people got to respect me, because at the end of the day, if they don't respect me, they don't got no choice.
Analyst Henry pointed out that during Teofimo Lopez's bout with George Kambosos Jr., a noticeable flaw in Lopez's approach became apparent. Although his low lead hand can help create openings for jabs and disrupt an opponent's rhythm, it turns into a vulnerability when he presses forward aggressively. Kambosos took advantage of this, inviting Lopez to step in and then answering with well-timed, heavy counter shots.
Teofimo Lopez has a bit of an issue. It's something that it's not always an issue, but it's something that certain fighters can turn into a weakness for him, and it's something that is a weakness for him when he fights the way he did in this fight. And that is the low lead hand that he has. It's great when you are trying to set things up. It can be really good when you're jabbing, because it's out of your opponent's eye line very often, they can't see it coming. But when you're being this aggressive, it simply does not work, in my opinion. And there were multiple times in this fight where George Kambosos just let Teo come to him and caught him with powerful, aggressive counter punches. I'd say that Kambosos found his range and his timing very, very quickly in this fight, and I'm just going to show you a couple of moments here in round 1 that really stood out to me where Teofimo Lopez was being exceptionally aggressive. So you can see with this lead hook here that George Kambosos lands as a counterpunch. It's a very, very key shot for anyone who is facing Teofimo Lopez, and I'm just going to break it down for you now. So the thing about Teofimo Lopez is, because he can be very
Henry draws attention to a pivotal exchange in the opening round, where Kambosos lands a perfectly timed lead left hook as a counter, exposing the danger in Lopez's forward-lunging attacks. Lopez often initiates by stepping in to load his front foot before sliding forward with a pendulum-style movement, which results in a wide stance and lowered hands. Even though his chin remains tucked, this posture disrupts his balance and leaves openings. Kambosos capitalizes brilliantly, snapping a checking left hook, circling out, and later connecting with a crushing overhand right that visibly rattles Lopez and sparks concern in his corner.
Never expect someone to really attack you from that range in boxing, but he does. And the thing about the way he does this is there's usually a bit of a tell. So watch here, what he does is he takes a step first to load that front foot, which then permits the pendulum step. It allows him to shuffle in, and I'll show you what I mean by that as you're watching here. Let me just undo that. 2 small arrows is what I'm looking for. So watch here, leans on that front foot, and then he goes with the pendulum back foot in, lead foot forward, and he lands in this position here. Now you can see the problem with this position here is that his balance is going to be hard to get because his feet are so wide and his hands are low. So whilst his chin is tucked in, that's good. His hands are low, and as he throws, Kambosos has that lead hand ready and waiting. Watch what happens here. He quickly leans back, he fires that check left hook, and he gets out. Beautiful work. Now, the other moment that we need to see from this one is probably the most dramatic moment of his career, where he landed an absolutely huge counter overhand right. And it definitely shocked Teofimo Lopez. It was what caused all the panic in the corner. I don't think he thought he could get.
Analyst Regis Prograde believes Shakur Stevenson holds both a mental and technical edge over Teofimo Lopez. While acknowledging Lopez's remarkable athleticism, he stresses that raw talent alone isn't enough at the elite level. Prograde notes that Lopez often struggles with consistency, showing moments of brilliance but failing to maintain focus throughout a fight. In contrast, Stevenson enters each bout with a clear strategy, patience, and discipline, making him hard to outmaneuver. Prograde also highlights Stevenson's mental toughness, pointing out his ability to stay composed under pressure, adapt quickly to an opponent's tactics, and avoid unnecessary risks. Lopez, however, can become frustrated or overly aggressive, leaving openings for counters and mistakes. This combination of tactical intelligence, composure, and technical skill gives Stevenson a major advantage, suggesting that while Lopez has physical gifts, Stevenson's fight IQ and mental resilience could ultimately decide the outcome.
Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it'll be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably. Yeah, I think he wins it comfortably. I think, you know, Shakur. I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You know, you can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. You know, now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles. You know, he does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does struggle. And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's gonna break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. You know, it might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then
Michael Conlan describes the upcoming bout between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as one of the most thrilling matchups in boxing today. On paper, it's a meeting of two highly skilled fighters, each bringing their own unique strengths to the ring. Conlan notes that both Lopez and Stevenson have proven their elite talent, precise technique, and ability to perform under pressure, making the fight particularly compelling for fans and analysts alike. He highlights the contrast in styles. Stevenson is celebrated for his tactical intelligence and adaptability, while Lopez brings explosive power and athleticism. Conlan believes this clash could result in an intense, unpredictable battle that challenges both fighters' skills, resilience, and strategy, making it a must-watch event for boxing enthusiasts around the world.
after that, I feel like, you know, Shakur is probably gonna start stepping up, and Teo's gonna try to hit him, and it's not gonna work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, you know, and that's the ones that hurt the most, when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, yeah, I feel like Shakur is gonna beat him comfortably. Not knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds for sure.
Have you sparred Lopez before?
I never sparred Teo, though. Never sparred.
Teofimo Lopez shared insights into his training, explaining that lately he's been keeping things light, enjoying himself, having fun, and not overexerting in the gym, while still staying relaxed and focused on his preparation.
What about the fight?
I don't know, man. I feel.
You've been playing these little mind games. I love it. And the little interviews.
I'm just having fun, man. I'm just being fun.
Yeah. The boxing world needs that too. The promotion, they just put out the Versace interview, right? And we wanted to see that early, right when you guys did it.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing real good though. They're promoting it well right now.
You like how they're promoting it? You think it's like they were talking about this like the leaders of the new school? That's how you feel?
I mean, it's gotta be. Ain't nobody else doing it like we doing it.
Antonio Tava examines the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup with the perspective of a seasoned boxing analyst, going beyond just records and recent performances. He warns that evaluating Lopez solely based on his last few fights would be misleading, as his skills run deeper than stats can show. Tava highlights Lopez's natural athleticism, power, and fight IQ, noting that when applied effectively, he can pose a serious threat to any opponent.
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, you know, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, you know, if Lopez can make this fight, you know, a lot tougher than expected, you know, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. You know, he's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, you know, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko or against Josh Taylor.
At the same time, Tava recognizes Stevenson's technical mastery, sharp tactical awareness, and his ability to dictate the pace of a fight. For him, this matchup is compelling not just in terms of wins or losses, but in how each fighter adapts, adjusts, and executes strategy under pressure. Tava sees it as a true test of skill, mindset, and ring IQ, where the result could ultimately come down to who imposes their game plan more effectively.
Fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have to, I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him. Being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say. A live underdog, but if he's to win this fight, I think he has to probably stop Shakur Stevenson. He's going to have to hit him with something, and let's hope Shakur's hands.
Gary Antoine Russell offers an inside look at Shakur Stevenson's training camp ahead of his fight with Teofimo Lopez, highlighting the discipline, structure, and intensity of every workout. He explains that each session is carefully designed to refine Stevenson's skills, from technical drills to conditioning and strategic sparring. Russell also points out that the camp goes beyond physical preparation, focusing on building mental toughness, adaptability, and the ability to stay focused under pressure.
Okay, that's when one person stay in the middle and they just spot everybody that one person stay in while they keep. That's what that was. That's what I was doing. It wasn't just Shakur there. It was Shakur there. Richard Hitchens was there. He didn't want to spar. Who else was there? I want to say what? Keyshawn brother was there. Keyshawn Davis' brother was there, but he was just there as a spectator. I was about to spar with Troy Isley. Right. Did some rounds with Troy.
You sparred all of them.
Not Keyshawn brother. That was another day. But they was all there. All of them was there. That whole little camp. And there was another gym that was there too. So it was like two gyms that came to give us some work.
Stevenson approaches every day of training with focus and precision, executing drills meticulously while keeping his overall strategy in mind. Sparring sessions are designed to replicate real fight situations, helping him read different styles and adapt to counters on the fly. Russell points out that the intensity of the camp constantly pushes Stevenson to improve, all while maintaining composure and control, traits that have defined his rise in boxing. Overall, it paints the picture of a fighter fully committed, disciplined, and prepared for the challenges Teofimo Lopez will bring inside the ring.
I stayed in the middle and I did my rounds, boom. Did 6, hopped out, did 6 more, did 7 more straight. 6, hopped out, did 7 straight, boom. And the rounds that y'all seen with Shakur was the ass in my last round.
Oh, back end. The back end.
Yeah, that was the last round. That was the last round. I'm like, all right. And they was doing like 3, hop out, or 2 and hop out, 2 and hop. So they was fresh. It was fresh, and it was before the Olympics. Motherfuckers is getting that grown man strength and that beefy body now. Like, come on, bro. But like I said before, still stands. Skills pays the bills. So you can be strong and big. If I'm gonna outskill you, then I'm gonna outskill you.
Yeah, we just saw that with Canelo and Terence, man.
Exactly.
Put on a crazy.
When discussing his upcoming fight, Shakur Stevenson radiates calm confidence and self-assurance. He approaches the matchup with a focused mindset, showing no signs of intimidation or distraction from outside opinions or criticism. Rather than reacting emotionally to doubt or hype, Stevenson views this bout as a natural step in his development as a fighter, emphasizing preparation, strategy, and discipline. His remarks reveal a maturity beyond his years, reflecting a deep understanding of the sport and his own abilities, along with patience and calculated ambition. Stevenson's composed demeanor shows that he's not just fighting to prove others wrong, but to grow his career and perfect his craft. His mental readiness ensures he can handle pressure, adapt during the fight, and execute his game plan against any opponent effectively.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. Like, they could say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. Like, I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about like once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him.
Right. As far as skills, though, do you think he's on par with the likes of Terence?
I'm not gonna say he's on a Terence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event, it seems. What is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him, but I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager, Jay Prince. Yep.
Okay. And does that work for you? Do you feel like this could be something that could just work for you for the time being?
That's a wrap for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you in the next one.